All right, so again, we have the fine focus. So we have the fine focus. We have the stage adjustment knob. This one moves it, top moves it forward and backward. This one, the bottom moves the mechanical stage left and right. We have the stage, we have the mechanical stage. We have the condenser. The light from the light source goes through the condenser and then through your specimen, through the objective lenses, through other lenses, and then through the ocular lens. To control the light getting into the specimen, you have the iris diaphragm, the lever which controls the iris diaphragm. Observe there are numbers. You have a 10x, a 40x, and a 100x. This tells you that depending on the lens you're using, this is where your iris diaphragm should be. So if you're using 10 or less, this is where the iris diaphragm is, or should be. If you're using 40x, this is where the iris diaphragm is. Okay, 40x. Observe the light has just appeared. And if you're using 100x, you go towards the 100 and observe that the intensity also increases. So this is very important for getting the right amount of light through your specimen. And of course, don't forget we have the coarse focus, fine focus. Now, what is the best technique for viewing an object through the microscope? The best way to begin is to ensure that your stage, now this is not the only way, I'm just saying this is one of the ways you can, or this is one of the techniques you can use. Bring your stage all the way down. So if your stage is not, bring your stage all the way down. Make sure your iris diaphragm is all the way down to low. So you close your iris diaphragm. Observe it's like no light is going through. And you want to begin with the low lens. Although you can begin with the 4x, I strongly advise and I tell students to begin with the 10x. 4x, you know, you get to see things, but just begin with a 10x makes life easier. So once you have the lens in place, your stage is all the way low, your iris diaphragm is closed, now you're ready to begin to look through your slide. The next thing is to ensure that where you expect your sample to be or your specimen to be should be directly above the area where the light is coming from the condenser. So if I put maximum light, observe the light just came a little brighter now. Now this is where I expect the specimen to be. You see that the circle, that round circle, or the round whatever is attached to the slide? I know this is where my specimen is, so I need to bring my specimen directly above. Or I need to bring that area directly above the condenser. Observe I am using either the top or the bottom part of the stage adjustment knob, right? And now it's in place. Of course, as I said, your stage is all the way down, low light, and you begin with a 10x. The next step is to look through the ocular lens and then bring your stage up until you see something. All right, bring your stage up until you see something. Now, once you have found something, so let's just pretend. So once you have found something, okay, let's pretend that right now you've seen something. The next thing is to move to the 100. Remember, we will not use the 40x. The 40x can get into the oil, or the tip of the 40x can get it into the oil, and that can damage the 40x. So typically, we don't use the 40x. We don't need to use the 40x. So we go directly to the 100x. Now, I am not going to bring my stage down and put the 100x and then bring it back in place. I have already seen what it is under the 10x. The next thing I need to do is to begin to get the 100x in place. So observe again, I bypass the 40x. I didn't go towards the 40x. I bypassed the 40x. All right, I didn't go towards the 40x. I bypassed the 40x and then moved towards the 100. The 5x or 4x will not get into the oil because the distance is very, it's too far. So now what I need to do with my specimen in place, because it's in focus with the 10x, is to add a drop of oil, 1 drop of oil. Okay, 1 tiny drop of oil. Bam. Okay, I am not going to move the stage. I have nothing to do with the stage right now. The next thing is to move the 100 in place. So now the 100 will be in place. And once the 100 is in place, now you can use the fine focus to get the specimen. All right, don't need to use the coarse focus, only the fine focus. You could move it forward for some time. If you don't see something, move it backward. If you've done it several times and you don't get to see what you expect, you don't see any magnification of the object, or you don't see the object, you can always go back to the 10x. The 10x will not get into the oil for some reason, because it was designed this way. So it's okay if there is oil on your slide, you can still use the 10x, but never use the 40x. You can use the 5x or the 4x, but never the 40x. So now with the 10x, I can find my object again. Okay, for some reason I didn't get it on 100, I can find my object. And because I've already had oil, I've already added oil, I go to the 100x, put it in place, do the very same thing, find focus, and then I should get my specimen. If there is nothing, even, after you've done it 2 or 3 times, chances are your 100x is dirty, so therefore you would have to use lens paper. All right? So chances are it's dirty, so you use lens paper to clean the lens. Okay, lens paper, not any other paper, but lens paper to clean the lens. So in this case, you would bring down your stage. Well, it's good to bring down. You see, I'm no 40x. We don't need to be in the 40x. Okay, so it's good to bring down the stage, but sometimes you could do it without bringing down the stage, because you don't want to focus everything again and back. You could do it, nothing wrong with that. But you can clean it. If you see there's oil, use another one until you see no oil. It's good to do it in a circular manner. Then you bring it back in place. There's oil already, so bring it back in place. Not the 40x, sorry. See, I almost made. Oh, actually, I was cleaning the 40x. So that's the 100x. All right, so we clean the 100x, not the 40x, as I just did. All right, clean until you see no more oil, because chances are there's oil from a previous lab. You clean. Okay. No oil. As I said, you can bring down the stage, but can save time. Refocusing, not having to refocus. Very little oil, no oil. And now you bring it back in place. All right, and then you focus again. Okay, so that's how you work with the 10x all the way to the 40x. We learned how to put oil, just 1 drop of oil, mineral oil. And by doing so, viewing the specimen should not be a problem. Okay, so that was a short introduction to using the microscope.